This happened just a couple of weeks ago. I worked the overnight shift at Walmart. It's not the worst gig out there, but over time, it starts to feel like you're drifting through a loop. Each night bleeds into the next. Same aisles, same tasks, same low buzz of the ceiling lights. Hopefully, something better turns up eventually. I'm usually assigned to the electronics department, which is a decent spot since it stays quieter than the rest of the store. People don't exactly show up at 2 o'clock in the morning desperate for USB cables and portable speakers. Most of the late-night customers are either insomniacs killing time or truckers stocking up on last-minute supplies before hitting the road again. That's what made him stand out. At first, I brushed it off. Just another guy wandering around, probably waiting on someone else. But after a while, I realized he wasn't shopping. He wasn't even pretending to browse. He kept showing up. Every time I glanced up, he was nearby, lurking one aisle over or standing motionless near the clearance rack. He wasn't checking out products. He was just standing there, staring in my direction. I tried to convince myself I was imagining things. The store's big. Maybe he was just moving slowly. But the way he positioned himself, always just close enough to be noticed, never picking anything up, made my instincts kick in. I started expecting him to walk over and ask for my number or something, but he never came close. It was like he wanted to be seen, but for reasons I couldn't understand. I went to use my radio to report it, but quickly realized the batteries were dead. It wasn't working. Eventually, I started debating whether I should go find a manager. When a hand suddenly grabbed my arm, I practically jumped. But before I could react, a woman's voice called out, loud, cheerful, overly familiar, "There you are." Then she launched into a casual spiel about how she'd been trying to find me all night. I turned, totally thrown, and saw a woman I didn't recognize at all. She was smiling, her grip tight on my arm, like we were friends running into each other after years apart. Before I could say anything, she leaned in and whispered, her tone urgent and low, "That guy's been filming you. Come with me." My stomach twisted. I shifted my head slightly, just enough to glance back. He was still there, but now he wasn't even pretending to act normal. He was staring straight at me. A wave of panic swept over me. I let her lead me. I didn't stop to question it. The way she held my arm, the way she spoke so casually and confidently like we knew each other, I went along with it. I was unbelievably relieved that someone had noticed what was happening and decided to step in, even if it meant pretending we were close. She stayed in character the whole time as we walked, chattering about something, maybe a vacation, maybe some shared memory. I hardly heard a word. My thoughts were locked on him. Had he really been recording me? That thought made my skin crawl. I wanted to check if he was following, but I couldn't bring myself to look back right away. She kept moving quickly, guiding me through the aisles. I wasn't paying attention to where we were headed, only that we were putting space between us and that man. Honestly, I expected her to drop the act at some point, but she never did. Eventually, it started to feel a little weird, so I looked over my shoulder, and to my relief, the man was no longer behind us. Still, the woman kept pulling me along. I told her that it was okay now, and maybe we should go find my manager, but she just tightened her grip and said he was still lurking somewhere. I thought to myself, so what? What could he possibly do in a store full of workers? At first, I'd been scared because there weren't many people around, but now that I wasn't alone, it started to feel like there was no real reason to panic anymore. I said as much, but she kept walking. I told her I meant it, then dug my heels in slightly and twisted to ease her hand off me. "You can let go now," I said. But she didn't. She gave me a smile, but something about it wasn't right. "Come on, almost there," she said, basically tugging me forward now. I looked around. The place was practically deserted. We'd gone past the checkouts, past the self-serve lanes, past the parts of the store where people actually went. Up ahead was the warehouse section, dim, quiet, and nearly vacant. And beyond that, the side exit, the one with no surveillance, the one staff used for loading inventory. That's when the realization struck me. She was steering me toward the door. I didn't think. I yelled for help and yanked my arm back as hard as I could. Her grip slipped just enough for me to break free. I didn't hesitate. I took off, sprinting toward the front of the store. As I ran, she shouted after me, first telling me to come back, then calling out my name, a name I had not told her. I didn't look back. I kept running until I saw one of my co-workers headed toward me, probably in response to my screams. I told him to call security. He did, right away. That woman was gone. By the time I explained everything to the guards, both she and the man had vanished. They reviewed the store cameras, and just like I feared, the two had entered together. She had been with him from the beginning. His face was crystal clear in a few shots, but she kept hers turned away the whole time. I had this gut feeling she was the one in charge of whatever this was, so it drove me crazy that the footage never caught her face. Every part of it had been coordinated. The police were contacted, and the situation was treated as a failed kidnapping attempt. I'm still waiting for updates. That guy should be easy enough to track down with how clearly his face showed up on video. But I still don't understand how she knew my name. That's the part that keeps me up at night. They hadn't just chosen me at random. They were there for me.